Nation.
Trump started a revolution with the MAGA ideology, Make America Great Again. It was a bit like child's play when it first came out in 2000 and when he first ran and won. You know, everyone thought it was a joke. But now, overwhelmingly, he was voted in because his ideology started to make sense. His sole focus is on making the country great, not necessarily his character, not necessarily his approach to life in general, but based on what he says he wants to do for the country. So when we look at those kind of revolutionary ideas and we say a new Nigeria is possible as a mantra, which ironically is the same mantra that you have the likes of Peter Obi, who is seen as a very influential leader. That's technically all he says in his engagement. Then you can categorically say that is a revolutionary statement. A new Nigeria being possible. That is one statement that we have adopted on this platform for over a year. And in more than 95% of our engagements, if you listen to what we've said over the years, it's centered around that. There's a book written on these possibilities. We've had podcasts, we have spaces, we have TikTok, we have all sorts of stuff to bring the idea together and to amplify the idea of these possibilities. Because we've identified from day one that that is the most powerful narrative that the Nigerian can possess at this point in time. That is a narrative that can drive a vision, not just of hope, but a collective vision of progress, if understood properly. Where we have struggled, with showcasing the message in its brilliance, has always been based on the influence of politics or necessary or unnecessary distractions. You constantly have things happen in Nigeria that would shift your mindset away from progress into some kind of random, unnecessary thinking. And before you know it, people are spending weeks talking about things that are pointless. People are spending months talking about things that are not progressive. People are spending years talking about things that are baseless. When at the end of the day, if you lock focus, if a healthy percentage of Nigerians lock focus on possibilities, truth be told, we would not be where we are today. But the government is very good with propaganda. They're very good at dishing out specific kind of activities that would distract the average Nigerian. So they lose focus. One key one that I've always centered on is the subject matter of institutionalized illiteracy. You have a situation where you have more than 15 million children out of school. The question is, what's going to happen to those 15 million on a yearly basis? That's a small country, so that level of illiteracy will always fuel levels of crime, if not harnessed properly. So there's a concern there, like a gunpowder waiting to explode. So where we who have the ability to engage also have the ability to speak, and when I mean we, I'm referring to the average Nigerian citizen who craves for information at this particular point in time, with information readily available at your fingertip. So when we have that opportunity to do what we can, we have to look for ways to forge ahead through the cracks of the system. It's easy to get 1,000 people on spaces and everyone gives their submission and they go home not being empowered. basically more angry than you came. It's easy to do that. We've done that. We spent a lot of time insulting ourselves and shouting and bantering, and causing all kinds of havoc online. But at some point, the penny will still drop that it's up to us to fix this thing. And when that penny drops, the idea is where would you be or what would you be doing or where are you in that picture? Where do you find yourself in that picture? So that is the key. That's the format. That's the template that plays out when people are not prepared. So now that we know for a fact that we have X amount of years before we reach a decision point, it's only fair that we prepare ourselves to get to that point from a revolutionary mindset point of view, which is understanding the meaning behind the words "a new Nigeria is possible." You can strip the word, you can strip that sentence out and look at the word for what it is. You want a new Nigeria. Obviously, you want a better situation. So you project a new Nigeria and say, in a new Nigeria, that shouldn't be the case. You look at the possibilities. Well, it's possible because it's not rocket science. All we need is the right mindset, and then the right citizens, and then the right leadership. Couple all those things together, things will start churning out. But what is clear, or rather what is missing within the framework of this kind of projection is the engagement. We are not engaging enough about these possibilities. Peter Obi is somebody that we understand, in as much as I'm not talking from a political point of view now, I'm speaking from a leadership point of view. Men like Peter Obi has always maintained the possibilities of a better Nigeria. Majority of our citizens have maintained that possibility as well. But the truth of the matter is, we don't speak about it enough. We don't engage about it specifically enough. So we don't have situations where you have Nigerians gathering to talk about these possibilities and then mapping out strategic comms to effect that change. It's easy to plan for 2 years to affect what's going to happen in 2 years. It's very easy to do that. But what is difficult is to focus on that plan. And this is where we always fall short as citizens. Because everybody wants a better Nigeria. Anyhow you look at it, the world needs a better Nigeria, let alone the country. We all know that's what we want. But it's always tricky. It's always a problem when we start engaging about possibilities. We get distracted so much. Either we are distracted by, politics, or we're distracted by silliness, or we're distracted by egos, or we're distracted by things that are not relevant. And then what happens is when the superior conversation is supposed to be had, you find out that the irrelevant conversation takes front seat role. So, so this is why we have decided to use this format. So it's a live podcast. We can do it in isolation and roll it out, but we thought it would be best to make it live. X is good at recording it, so in your spare time, you can always come back and listen to it. Or we'll do our best as well to repurpose it and release it on different platforms. But yes, submission-based spaces that we have been having before. I think we've learned from that it doesn't work. We've learned a crucial lesson that it's almost just a complete waste of time. So what we intend to do now is invite people up on the platform on a weekly basis, have a one-to-one with them, run it for about an hour or two, and let people ask questions. And then the panelists or the speakers will talk about those questions. That way it's more empowering because you have specific subject matters experts who can speak on these subject matters and have all the time required to. we know ourselves, especially as Africans. Well, we know we like to engage, but sadly, we like to engage on things that are not progressive. But that doesn't necessarily mean that is a fault. All we need to do is find the right way to channel our focus, find the right pathway to organize that focus, find the right pathway to forge ahead through specific cracks within our system. And that is what we're doing. That is what we've set out to do. Yeah, fingers crossed, all things being equal, I think we would get there inevitably. We would get to a situation where we can start having these things regularly.